from Florida's news leader. For coverage you can count on, this is Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Strazis. Our top story at 6 o'clock, the boys of summer are back. But the question now is when? For the very latest, we go to sports director Andy Hardy. Andy?
Well, Stacey, we're still waiting, actually. Baseball owners are meeting right now in Chicago. We're expecting some kind of an announcement at any time. Now, as the owners began today's session, there were indications that they would agree to start the season in late April with the regular players. Spring training probably will last about 3 weeks. But there are still some problems to be solved.
Well, I understand maybe tomorrow. Some of them will come in, and then mandatory on Wednesday if we agree to the rules on how to come back.
Here's another problem. If the regular players come back, there is still no basic agreement.
It's a little hard to understand, but we are back to square one where we were at. But I do think both sides are closer than they ever were before, and I think a deal could be within reach throughout the season sometime.
And here's something else to remember. Like, we don't have a lot to remember here. The injunction by a judge who ruled against the owners was appealed. That will be heard by an appellate court on Tuesday. So if that's overturned, we could be back to the replacement players. We'll keep you up to date. Stacey?
All righty, Andy. Thank you very much. Locally, some baseball players and fans anxiously await the results of today's meeting. As Eyewitness News reporter Karen Mays finds out, the decision could determine whether they play a part in this year's baseball season.
Officially, the game against the Marlins and the Mets has been postponed.
With those words, the beginning of the replacement baseball season ends even before it starts, and replacement baseball players are sent home packing. Owners met today in Chicago to map out the future of baseball, as well as the future of the players. Players like Tony Pettis-Chica, coaches at the New York Yankees minor league camp, say he's good enough to go to the majors. That's why the meeting means so much to him and his teammates.
It hurts us because there was a lot of guys that were supposed to go to Major League Spring Training so we can get a good look at from our managers and our GMs and stuff. And unfortunately, the strike affected that situation with us.
Pettis-Chica says several of his teammates had a chance to become replacement players, but for him, that's not a title he wanted to be tagged with.
The stands aren't usually very full, and the players, well, they don't make a lot of money, but some fans say they prefer to watch these guys play over replacement players any day.
Anthony Biondi's been a New York Yankees fan all his life. He says he wouldn't have gone to see replacement players even if the regular baseball season started. He says minor leaguers have earned their right to play.
They work hard to get here. It takes a long time to make it there. And I like to see these guys make it rather than just scrubs.
Be patient. That's what owners are asking fans to do. But for the players whose careers are on the line, one has to wonder how much more patience they have left. In Tampa, Karen Mays, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
The regular players who ended their 232-day strike on Friday are expected to begin reporting for spring training tomorrow. Team owners push back opening day to April 26. In other news today, a gruesome and shocking discovery in Hillsborough County. Parts of a body have sheriff's deputies searching for answers. Eyewitness News reporter Jerry Lambert is on top of this story. He joins us now live from the scene. Jerry?
Well, hi, Stacey. I'm along 301 South in Hillsborough County. This is the bridge that actually goes over Little Bullfrog Creek. This is where a woman was walking around 12:15 this afternoon when she looked to her right and saw a body of a naked white male lying down here in the bushes. Now, all the investigators and all the inspectors are gone right now, but when the deputies arrived at about 12:30 this afternoon, what they found lying here was a grisly sight, even for a murder.
At this time, we're only going to say that some of the extremities of the body are missing.
A sheriff's spokesman describes what deputies found in the woods. Authorities now combing the area looking for clues and even body parts. They're discreet in describing what appears to be the remains of a white male, possibly in his 40s. A sheriff's spokesman won't say what parts of the body have been removed or how much is left, but he does say this homicide may be hard to solve.
The crime scene is, the woods, has been raining. So our detectives are very, very meticulous at this point, trying to get anything that they can to help us solve this case.
No one knows for sure how long the body has been here. The best guess will come from the medical examiner who is on the scene. As a reminder, this is the second set of human remains found over the last week in the Bay Area. St. Petersburg police are still trying to put a name to a set of bones found near Gandy Highway in Pinellas County. They think it's a young female about age 18 or 19. Meanwhile, back on Highway 301, the search continues in the bushes. Deputies are looking for clues like footprints, clothing, or whatever might lead to the identity of what's left of this human being or the person or persons who committed this ghastly murder. Of course, all the deputies are gone now, but they say the effort to try to solve this case is complicated just that much more because they found the body here doesn't necessarily mean the person was killed here. They could have been killed somewhere else and the body dumped here. So that's just one of many questions still remaining to be answered about this murder. Back to you, Stacey.
Jerry, thank you very much. A St. Petersburg neighborhood is paralyzed overnight when the SWAT team moves in. This was a scene on 44th Street South this morning, 11 hours after a standoff began. 34-year-old Russell Blackson threatened to shoot his girlfriend and himself, but she got away and called for help. The SWAT team showed up and put pepper gas in the house, but when officers entered the home, they found the 34-year-old had killed himself. Blackson, a convicted felon, was apparently despondent over not being able to find a job and did not want to return to prison. One eastbound lane of traffic on the Courtney Campbell Bridge is open again after this accident shut it down. This neighborhood network video shows the flipped car. Traffic heading into Tampa came to a halt while rescue workers got the people out. Police say 2 people were taken to the hospital. $8,500. That's what it took for a man to bond out of jail today after a big SWAT bust. This is 42-year-old Ramon Vasquez. A SWAT team brought his cockfighting operation down Saturday and charged him with promoting the fights and cruelty to animals. Last night's raid in Hillsborough County turned up over 100 fighting roosters. Detectives still aren't sure how much money the fights took in. More than 40 people watching the fight were charged with misdemeanors. After years of planning, we're starting to see the beautification payoffs at Tampa Seaport. First, with last week's opening of the Florida Aquarium, and today, a double celebration. It's the dedication of the new Garrison 2 cruise terminal and the 50th anniversary of the Tampa Port Authority.
I think it's the beginning of great things for Tampa and the Tampa Bay area. We're not only a tourist destination here, we're going to be a great place for local people to congregate, visit the aquarium, see the waterfront traffic.
There are 4 ships in the port right now, and in 2 weeks, Carnival Cruise Lines docks with the Tropical. The aquarium and the new seaport are the first projects completed in the revitalization of Tampa Seaport. Well, if you haven't seen the new lotto billboards, you've got to take a look at this. That's right, no one came up with all 6 winning numbers in last night's drawing, rolling the big dough over to $72 million. It's the highest jackpot in 2 years. And coming up in just a few minutes, we'll have the payoffs to last night's 500,000 winners of smaller prizes. And still ahead on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock, fire breaks out on board an American Airlines jet. The passenger injury toll climbs. That story coming up. And another violent act follows a Jenny Jones taping. This time the violence involves a love triangle. National News is next. Keep it right here.
This is Channel 13 Eyewitness News at 6.
News around the nation at 6. More than 40 people injured after a fire on an American Airlines jet. This MD-11 was taxiing for takeoff at New York's Kennedy Airport this morning. Officials say a fire broke out in one of the jet's 3 engines. Many people were rushed to area hospitals, fortunately with only minor injuries. The plane was bound for the Dominican Republic. No word yet on what caused the fire. The Jenny Jones Show is once again at the center of talk show controversy. A revelation on the show leads a woman and her husband's girlfriend to attack each other with butcher knives. Neither one was seriously hurt, but the woman now claims she's getting a divorce because of what happened on the show. You'll remember last month when a Michigan man killed a gay man on the show who had a crush on him. Jenny Jones said her show was not responsible for the incident. And in New Jersey, the walls of this public housing project come tumbling down. Authorities detonated 600 pounds of explosives at the Christopher Columbus homes. The Newark Housing Authority is demolishing the 2 13-story buildings. The project is outdated, so new housing will be put in its place. And still ahead on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock, downtown Tampa is a flurry of activity as race cars hit the streets. We'll tell you all about it coming up. Plus, you're looking at a live picture from Sky Tower Cam. Andy Johnson with your complete weather forecast next.
Randy Johnson's forecast has the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
Well, a lot of folks lost an hour of sleep last night with the time change, but I bet they don't mind when they look outside today. It's gorgeous outside.
It's great. And, we had all that humidity and cloudy weather yesterday. It's all gone. Humidity really came down a lot lower, and the temperatures are a little bit cooler. In fact, tonight it's going to feel downright cool. You might want to get out a blanket to keep you warm tonight, because it's going to be pretty cool. Temperatures bottoming out in the upper 40s to lower 50s. Outside right now, though, it's pretty mild. 74 degrees at our Tampa studios, 72 degrees at the St. Petersburg Bayfront. But look at the humidity, 27%. It's very rare that it's that low. 30.07 on the barometer, and it's falling. Winds are out of the northeast, averaging about 4 miles per hour. The bay is 74 along with the Gulf of Mexico. Temperatures this morning were a little bit cooler than what they have been and a little bit lower than normal, but didn't set any records. 56 degrees in Tampa, but look, we did get into some 40s of the northern part of the area. 48 degrees at Ocala. St. Petersburg had a low of 59, 62 at Sarasota, Bradenton, Lakeland 56. Brooksville came in with 52. This afternoon, temperatures warmed up pretty quickly, and we had a lot larger temperature spread today than what we had yesterday. We only had about 4 degrees yesterday. Today, we did make it up to 75 with that brilliant sun outside. 73 was the high in St. Petersburg. Around the state of the present hour, pretty uniform temperatures from north to south, but temperatures are going to be cooling off more dramatically in the northern part of the state later tonight. 74 at Tallahassee. The cool spot is at an unusual spot over in Daytona Beach. They have 64 degrees with a wind off the relatively cooler waters of the Atlantic that far north. 74 at the airport in Tampa and 72 at St. Petersburg Clearwater. A view from the satellite, GOES 8 weather satellite, shows beautiful clear skies across the state. You can see the lakes and rivers standing out very clearly in the very dry air across the state of Florida. All the clouds we had over us yesterday, they've all migrated down to the south and over the extreme southern part of the state and through the Bahamas. And they are containing a few showers. Composite radar does show area of rain is just ending now in the Keys, moving over towards Andros Island, and Freeport and Grand Bahama moving off towards the east. Around the rest of the country, high pressure is filling in across the deep south. That's replacing all the active weather we had yesterday. The front is just about stationary down over Cuba and the Florida Straits. A little patch of snow up over the higher elevations of Pennsylvania and Maryland, but that's about it as far as significant snow. A lot of thunderstorm activity with this next system, though, and there's one front here, and then there's another very strong Arctic front up here. Now watch what happens over the next 24 hours. The high moves off to the east, but these fronts kind of cartwheel around this low, and this front will combine with the first one and move through Florida probably sometime in the middle of the week. Could bring us some cooler weather once again by the end of the week. It'll be quite a dramatic change to colder weather across the middle part of the country. National satellite view shows clear skies over much of the eastern two-thirds of the country and those thunderstorms out west. Temperatures at the present hour. It's 45 at International Falls, 47 at New York, and 70 at Atlanta this morning. The cold spot was 1 at Mount Washington, New Hampshire. The forecast for the Bay Area tonight, fair and cool, the low dropping down to 50 in the city, but we could see some upper 40s over the northern part of our viewing area and in the rural areas. For tomorrow, it should be a nice day. Sunny skies, warming up to 76. And for Tuesday, increasing clouds. There might be some scattered thunder showers by Tuesday night. That should be a low of 58 and a high of 80.
Great weather. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, the weather was just right for a Sunday drive. The second annual Coca-Cola Junior Achievement Grand Prix raced through downtown Tampa this morning. If some of these drivers look a bit big for these cars, check out who's behind the wheel. Some of the racers are Tampa Bay Buccaneers testing their driving skills. Some flashbacks for you.
The Bucs could use a couple of good drives.
They sure could.
Down there.
We're talking about hockey tonight, playoff time.
Lightning, don't count them out. They're still in the playoff hunt, but time's running out. Panthers have to go home today and in a bad mood, too. Well, that story in a baseball update. That's next. Stay with us.
Boy, out of nowhere. Out of absolutely nowhere.
Well, the baseball owners started filing into their meeting about 4 hours ago. They hope to leave Chicago with some answers for us regarding the season. Going in, though, most thought they would not vote to lock the players out. And after 3 weeks of spring training, the season would open with the regular players around April 26th. But there are still a lot of things to discuss up there among the 28 owners.
It's been a very painful experience, both emotionally and economically, to me personally and to everybody in baseball. And we're here today to try to figure out how best to solve our problems.
So we're still waiting. Some good defense today at the Dome, where the Lightning and Panthers still chasing a spot in the playoffs. Darren Pupa and the Beezers stopped 35 shots in the first 40 minutes, but a couple of them got through. 9 minutes into the game, Jesse Belanger racked up his 12th of the year, so Florida was up 1-0. Then 8 minutes later, the Bolts answer. Sullivanov fed Paul Eisbart. He scores for the 6th time this year, and they go to the third, tied 1-1. Midway through that final period, here comes the 2-on-1 Florida break. Watch out. Jody Hall with the shot on Darren Pupa. With the second shot, he gets it in, and that was about it. That was the winner, as it turned out. They did get an empty netter. The final score, 4-1 Panthers. So the Bolts, as you see, 4 points behind the Panthers in the playoff chase. And now the Lightning go on a long 4-game road trip. Philadelphia wins over the Rangers. Rangers still playing bad hockey. It was Washington 2-1. They knock off Boston. Detroit, St. Louis, a 3-3 tie. Dallas has just beaten Chicago. And Quebec scored 7 times against Ottawa. And the good old boys of NASCAR in Bristol, a short track race, and one that ended, believe it or not, without Dale Earnhardt taking second place. And here's why. Dale tangled with Jeff Burton on lap 116. The 3-car did come back after a lot of repair work, but finished 25th. It was Jeff Gordon's race to win. The youngster gets his first victory on a short track. He's now won 3 of the last 5 races. Today he beat the second place car driven by Rusty Wallace by nearly a half lap. So the Monte Carlos, 6 for 6 this year. Yeah, another one won today with that guy Gordon. Rusty Wallace second, Waltrip, Bobby Hamilton, Ricky Rudd, but that guy Earnhardt still has the points lead by 17. And out west in Phoenix, the IndyCar race just now over, and another Gordon. You had to be a Gordon to win any kind of race today. Robbie wins this in a Cosworth. Emerson Fittipaldi led most of the way, ended third, right behind Michael Andretti. NCAA basketball titles settled today, one of them anyway, the women. UConn and Tennessee squared off up in Minnesota. Vols led this at 6 by the half, most of the second half, but then Jennifer Rosati off the turnover. Watch this, all the way down the floor. She may have traveled right there, but no one was watching. She gets the hoop, and UConn's up 63-61. The Vols, Latina Davis tries to get the lead back with the 3 and got all air. But that was it. The Huskies win it 70-64. They end the season, get this, unbeaten, 35-0. And in tennis, all Conchita Martinez in the family circle. Today's final, second seed, too much for Magdalena Maliva, who was the 4th seed. Conchita turned in the 4th set. Conchita tuned up. She lost only 3 of 15 in the semis. Today she did better. She wore down Maliva in a hurry. The final scores today, 6-1, 6-1. Conchita's now won this 2 years in a row. Today she did it in 58 minutes. All right, a shootout today at the Alamo Dome, San Antonio. The Suns in Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. And check out David here. Tremendous effort as the buzzer sounded to end the third. This thing almost hit the roof, but it got all net. David did have some help. Sean Elliott, well, he pumped in 30 today as the Spurs ran their winning streak to 11 straight. And since the middle of December, they've won 25 of 27 at home. There's another home win, 109-106. Elsewhere today, New York over Jersey, 94-85. And the Pistons finally get over 100 mark. That's why they won, 110-105. You won't see that often. And Indiana, at last report, was leading. They still are in the 4th, 96-81.
So tonight at 10 on Sports Sunday, we'll have an update on the baseball talk.
Hopefully we'll have some good news, yeah.
Let's hope so.
We can't update the Lightning. They've already lost, which is sad.
It sure is. Thank you, Andy.
Okay.
And still ahead on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock, check out these people. They're doing the polar bear plunge at Tampa's water park. Keep it right here. We don't have any polar bears in the Bay Area, but the Bay Area is hosting a bash fit for one.
Yes! Don't jump. All right, here we go.
Polar bear plungers at Adventure Island are jumping in this ice-filled pool, retrieving golf balls worth cash and prizes. More than 5 tons of ice was used for this cold reception, kicking off Adventure Island's 15th season. Wow. Well, it's going to be chilly tonight, but not quite that chilly.
No, nothing like that. And I guess I hope those prizes were really good
I hope
because they
they
had
were
to put
worth
up with
it.
a lot to jump in that ice cold water. Here's a look at tonight's forecast. We're expecting a low of 50 degrees, fair skies though, no rain around, and the extended outlook looking for the next week. Temperatures a little bit below normal, a chance of some thunder showers returning Wednesday and Thursday, but it should be quiet tonight.
Alrighty, thank you.
Sure.
And that's Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you back here tonight for Eyewitness News, primetime at 10. From all of us here at Channel 13 Eyewitness News, have a great evening.